Welcome to Workshop Goals. I'm Brad, and we're continuing the build out of the shop, trying to get all this stuff together. First goal is to frame out my office, which is gonna be right here behind me. This is gonna be such an awesome space. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. The second goal is there are some framing issues downstairs with the electric, and I need to adjust some of the joists because they're all out of whack, and when we went to put the panel in, it didn't fit. So let's jump into it. All right, this is the printed out office wall. So this wall is gonna be my long wall that kind of goes right here with my door in the front. 15.5 feet long, so a nice deep office, and then just a 10-foot wall on the end. So we walk in and we can have a little spot for like a couch to sit down. Maybe I'll have like a TV up here for viewing videos and things like that. But also what I wanted to do is save some space here so I could set up lights and cameras and things. So if I want to do any video where I'm filming something sitting at my desk or any kind of sit down courses, a SketchUp course, something like that, we could have it all ready to be installed. And I'm trying to shoot a video in my current office. It's like stuff everywhere, you can't walk around. So dedicating space for that. Of course, we're gonna have the window in the office, which is gonna be amazing. So my desk will probably be right about here. Have a nice little view out the window to see the trees. Some kind of cabinetry and stuff behind me, just a nice little backdrop, maybe an L desk, but this space is gonna be fantastic for me to just do deep work into designing, being on video calls, podcasts, whatever. That's what we're gonna be doing in this space. It's gonna be fantastic. So I'm gonna go ahead and start laying out the walls with some snap chalk tape, chalk line. We'll get the dimensions here, and then we'll start framing. I'm gonna pop a little nail right here that we can use to draw the string in just a minute. I'll do this line and have our outer wall defined. 186 will put us right there. There's not much that carpenters hate worse than an out of square corner. And since I'm gonna be the carpenter here, I'm going to do my little 3-4-5 Pythagorean theorem. If we do a mark at 3 foot, mark at 4 foot, and the line in between should be 5. I call that a success. All right, guys, I was measuring for the rafters and I've made a discovery, and this is hilarious. So up here on top of the rafters, what do I find but a razor blade covered in spray foam? The other side looks great. It was sitting up here on the joist. I have been looking for this razor blade for months now. I love the most is the Tough Built scraper, and I would love to be showing you that right now, but I spent an hour looking around the shop trying to find it. I have no idea where it went. And now I know exactly where it was. It obviously got left up there, but check it out. It still works. Uh-oh, the cops are coming after me. Abuse of a utility knife, guilty. One thing this place is not light on is surprises. And I don't know why I'm even surprised anymore, but as I was taking all my measurements just to see where these trusses land, and they all are a little high. And it's like this one's, 8 feet plus 5/8 of an inch, which is fine. It's been 5/8, half, 9/16, and that will be fine for drywall and for putting our wall in. But they put in this board here for us to nail, be able to put the drywall on. Except when we come over here, this guy is basically right at 8 feet. So we have a 5/8 of an inch gap in between here and here. That will be an absolute disaster, both framing and for the wall, because the drywall would just dive down at the end. This is literally just there for screwing the drywall onto. So I'm gonna take it down and rip a 1/2 inch off it and put it back up, I guess. All right, let's do it. That screw's not into anything. Woo. Having like a big cut sheet like this is super nice. I really enjoy that. 186. Coming up. All right, before I put up this wall, I am gonna put the top plate on the top. So I've got this one that is gonna be 3.5 inches longer than the top here because we're gonna overlap that on this next wall, and that's gonna help tie it together. Ooh. Thought I was giving myself a little bit extra room, but apparently not. Still about an inch off that back wall, so I'm just gonna give it some love taps. Probably gonna be easier said than done because we are a little tight up against those joists, and it's not like before where I could just kind of knock out those little spacers here. Can't really adjust these trusses, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right, get about a 1/2 inch. Let me know in the comments if I totally screwed that up or if there's a better way to do it. But I think this wall, very sturdy, and it's for my office. We're not gonna be like throwing anybody into it, so we should be good. All right, so we'll be doing the same thing up here, which actually I kind of like doing this and having the little webbing there and nailing into it. Seems like a little bit easier because then when you stand the walls in, you can adjust it. But we'll get these cut up and this should go pretty fast. Famous last words. The bin is just full. That was a swish. All right, so nailing into this is kind of making it want to gap out here. There we go. The screws will suck it right together. Framers, how do you deal with that? Let me know, because I could see if I could clamp it together, but if I'm toe nailing it, then it's gonna fly through I don't know. It was just not working real well for me. Yeah, that ain't going anywhere. So I had some pretty nasty boards in the lumber, and this was definitely one of them. And it's not just because it's got this big sap pocket and all this stuff, but man, this sucker, if you look down this bad boy, we got a crook and a bow. What I've realized this is perfect for is for a California corner. So if you don't know what a California corner is, that is, so if we came in here, the drywall can come up against this for this wall here, but for this wall I'm standing on the inside, there's nothing for the drywall to attach to. So what you do is you stick another 2x4 over here like that, flush up against that one, and then I don't know why that's called a California corner. It just is. And it doesn't matter if it's crooked or whatever, all it matters is it can be flat and flush to the wall. So this big nice bow won't matter at all. So there you go, that's what you can do with your nasty lumber. You always run out on the last nail. That's just a rule. A Sawzall is great to cut out these, but if you just have a nice wide blade on your multi-tool, this works just as good. My Sawzall blade is like super dull anyway, so we're just gonna go straight in with the multi-tool. All right, there we go. Walking into my office for the first time. Feels pretty good. Have my desk right here. Do a little working, maybe play him a little Minesweeper. I don't know. We'll see how the day goes. All right, goal number one of framing the office, we done. Now I need to attack some things downstairs with the framing for the electrician because they're trying to run some panels and things, and a lot of those joists are just jacked. And so there is never a dull moment when you are trying to deal with framing, getting stuff installed, and the latest issue and situation that we're dealing with is with this bay right here. And that's all around this guy. So we've got our Eden, this is a 125 amp sub panel, and this is gonna be coming off the main panel, and basically this will be giving power to the entire left side of the shop. And as we started putting this in and we figured out this would be a great spot for it, we started seeing some issues, and that's with the framing. The electrician put it in and the box was like all cattywampus. And so I thought, well, hey, why is that? You look right here, about 3/4 of an inch, this is sticking off. And you might be wondering, well, maybe it's just out. No, it's this board. If I run my level across here, and we've got fingers width, a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch at some spots, and that's because this 12-foot 2x6 is so crowned. It's crowned like a solid 1/2 inch up to 3/4. We're just hitting right into it. That's another sign of an issue. So sheathing this wall is gonna be a disaster. But before we can even do that, we need to make sure that they're flush so we can put the panel in. So what I'm gonna do, I've already knocked this one out here, is I'm actually gonna take these out and replace these with new 2x6s that are straight. We're at 139 3/8-ish. Let's cut it and see what we get. All right, and of course we have our super simple sawhorses, nice and sturdy. Again, I just bought this lumber today. Man, lumber is just so bad these days. I was gonna get a 12-footer, but I got a 14-footer because the 12-footers were so bad. So let's see here, 139 3/8. That's a good fit right there. All right, cool. I guess we can cut these out now. I'll leave that in there. We'll probably get a little tension once I start cutting it. There we go. Just for fun, let's lay this down and see how big the bow is. Oh yeah, a solid finger bow. This is the stud bear we wanted, so I'm gonna space off of this guy just to make sure we're 14.5 in between, because that's what we need for the panel. So I'm just gonna go for that. I think we've got a good stud now. Now I gotta see if I gotta take this one out. But this one, put a little blocking in there, and that'll be perfect. All right, let's see how we did. Oh, that is how it's supposed to be. But now let's check this guy. I think what I might do on this one is just actually shim this side out, and then on the back side use a power planer to shim that side. I don't think that's worth replacing because it's not too far out. That's definitely within tolerance, I think. Yeah, you're an 1/8 inch maybe. So this board right here, this one's actually bowed out that way, but I think it's because of the blocking. No? Oh, that's weird. Or is it the bottom? 14.25. Our middle is at 14 3/4, almost 7/8. So the question is, why is that? This is like solving the worst mystery. Not like a fun murder mystery. This is like a, how do they screw up my framing mystery? All right, so we're 14.5 here. But up here, all right, I think I found the problem, or at least part of the problem, is if you look up at these 3 boards here over our door header, this is all where it starts. So if you look up these all veer to the right. I think the edge of this board should have been on that line. And because it's not, this one was to the right, this was the right, and then the spacing, and it just all continued. Basically, all the studs are off by at least a 1/2 inch. And so we're just gonna have to work around it. I don't know, but hanging panels is not gonna be fun. Compounding issues, we don't have a corner here on our stud because, you know, lumber. That sucks. And so that's, you know, the ear has nothing to grab onto. All right, after careful consideration, I'm gonna take this one out. I think that's just the answer for any of these. If I'm questioning it, I'm just gonna take them out and redo them. So that was interesting. As soon as I cut these nails, look what that thing did. It just fired off. This thing is obviously got a huge bow that way in it. And again, I think this is just all kind of coming together to haunt me and make me crazy. All right, that is a saucy looking board. So here's a little POV shot for you. Oh, look at that. Woo! That is a nice bend. Let's make some marks so that we are exactly 14.5. Hello. Oh boy. I almost just killed myself. Thanks to Adam, the cameraman, for the assist. Death by 2x6 is not how I plan to go out. All right, my friends. Now we should be 14.5 at the bottom, 14.5 at the middle, and 14.5 at the top. I'll call that good. All right, we're fast forwarding a little bit. I don't know, a few weeks, maybe a month. Weather has definitely changed, but a lot has happened. Let me show you, because that framing allowed us to get all of the electrical in, or at least the panel in. It looked great. All right, so here is that bay that we were working on, and these are those two studs that we just got done replacing. For you, a couple minutes ago. For me, you know, whatever. But we've got our panel all landed. We've got our breakers for our 20 amp, our 40 amp, 50 amp. We've got a lot of power in here. And the electricians came in here, did a great job, and you can kind of see all the stuff that's going on. So our orange guys right here, these are for all of our 30 amp breakers. The black is for our 50 amp. The blue is for our 20 amp, and then the white is for 15 amp for basically just the lighting. And that was all made possible because we fixed the panel. But let me show you some other things that they've done around here, because things are really starting to shape up. All right, so one of the other things that we did get done is we fixed a lot of the other framing. So there was framing that was out all throughout the building, and actually the builders came over and replaced a lot of that for us. So that was awesome. Showed them some of the issues, and like I talked about this one, I think last episode, about how it was all whacked out, and we got this space right, and you can see all of the different wiring here. This is a big hub of wires coming in here. It runs over, lands on this side, so we're gonna have three-way access so we can turn on the bay here. And we did go pretty heavy on the outlets. And one thing you may notice, if you're super observant, you will notice, is we now have single gang boxes. Before, when we did the walkthrough, we had double boxes, and I realized that was absolutely ridiculous. Like, the amount of outlets was just super absurd. And so instead of having duals, I switched over to singles, and I feel a lot better about it. And basically we have everything wired up. We did some serious wiring on the other side, which I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek of, but there's something that's gonna come in the next episode that we're really excited about. All right, so this is the first drywall to go up in the shop, and that just went up last week or the week before. And this is the back side of our panel. And if you recall, this is the CNC room. So give you one guess of what showed up. Super exciting. It's on the other side of this wall, but I'm not gonna show it to you just yet. You have to wait. You have to wait for the next episode. That was a whole thing. That was that was pretty wild. But you can see some of this wiring. So this is all for, again, our 30 amp breakers, and then the black wires for the 50 amp. And we have 3 50 amp breakers just going into the CNC room. And we'll show you all about that in the next episode. But some other stuff came in that I'm really excited for. It's up in the front here. All right, the next exciting thing is all of this, which is all of our lighting for the entire shop. We're gonna be using LED lights, of course. And what we have here, these are actually the same ones that I have from actually at the old shop at my house. They're actually not the exact same, but basically they are LED strips that are on just these reflectors here. And then They just go up in a little ballast box here. So we got a little ballast in here, it goes up, it's attached together, and we're gonna have a whole bunch of these in the main shop. We're gonna have so much light in there, and it's really high quality light too. So I am really excited about getting those up. And that's gonna be for the first floor. For the second floor, for the offices upstairs in the 3D print room, some of these canless lights, I love these. I've used these in lots of areas inside the house. I usually use 6-inch. Look at these big boys. These guys are 8-inch. So 8-inch can light, they have a little bit of a recess to them so that when you look up at them, you're not gonna catch that glare. We're gonna have a whole bunch of these upstairs. It's gonna have a nice even light, and again, really nice CRI, which we'll talk more about when we talk about the lighting, but basically means that you have, it's more like daylight outside, and that gives you really true colors, which is great for filming and, woodworking. All right, I feel good about this episode. We got the office framed up. We've got some of that framing taken care of with the electrical panel all ready for the CNC, which is gonna be the star of the show for the next episode. So I'm Brad. Until next time, get out there, set a goal, and get it done.